So, I guess that Newark had this really defined his own scene. A lot of jazz, a lot of rhythm and blues.
A lot of rhythm and blues.
What do you remember hearing of those days? What music really set you on fire when you were a kid?
Frankie Lyman. Why the Fools Fall in Love. The Spaniards, all the doo-wop groups, the Cadillacs, all of that was the area. And then the Shirelles lived in a building with a cousin of mine who had lived in Virginia. She took me to Passaic, New Jersey, and I watched them rehearse.
Wow.
At that point, I said, this is what I want to do, because I saw Frankie Lyman and all the little girls screaming for him.
It's interesting because almost everybody I speak to who is of your age or of your era who experienced Frankie Lyman and the teenagers at the time universally cites them first as the major influence.
Oh, they were. I guess they were the major. They were the Jacksons. For everything.
Yeah.
They were the first little young kid. Actually, was a star, a good writer, good performer. They went to. When they went to London, played him.
That's right.
So you remember all that kind of history. 10 years later, well, not even 10 years later, 6, 7 years later, Motown would repeat it with the Temptations and the Marvelettes and all of that. But right about 56, the Apollo Theater, I used to skip school to go to the Apollo.
You're anticipating my next question. Who did you make a point of going to go see? Did you catch every review you could?
I went every time every week, somebody they would have 5 or 6 artists on the thing that they played all day long. So I would skip school one day.
Was there a single performer or a couple performers you kept that you saw and went, this guy's got it, I got it?
So, the Spaniards, if they were ever there, I had to see them, the Flamingos, Heartbeats.
So you were all about the vocal groups.
The vocal groups, the doo-wop groups was it. Yeah. The Flamingos, Shabop, Shabop. Platters was already, they had already went straight pop, so you didn't see them too often. They were like for adults.
Yeah, they went more towards the mainstream. I mean, being on Mercury Records and they were bigger labeled, and a lot of these groups you're mentioning were on these much smaller independent labels.
Right.
You mentioned the Platters. I mean, the Coasters.
Coasters was one of our favorite. You could probably see Coasters in Funkadelic, if you see Funkadelic nowadays.
I see it now because the show, because the Coasters were all
the
about
comedy.
the show.
And then 58, 59, the Isley Brothers, showed up. Yep. So you see the wildness of the group. That was Parliament-Funkadelic style. We got a lot from them, 59, 60.
Because you made your first record in 58.
58, right.
Now I want to take you back quite some time to that time. And you were all teenagers still, right?
Right.
And this is the original lineup of the Parliaments.
Parliament.
How did you come to the name the Parliaments?
Well, everybody had groups named the Chesterfields, or the Camels, or some cigarette.
Yeah.
Or either
or Bird.
Or Bird, or Cars.
Okay.
And so.
So the Parliament cigarette.
Was, I didn't smoke, and everybody told me the Parliament cigarettes was nasty.